Howdy, this is Lemmy with RevZilla TV, here to talk to you today about Alloy Art's Smoothie taillight and tag bracket for Harley. You should be thinking about one of these tag bracket, taillight, brake light combos if you're looking to clean up the rear of your bike. You want to get the taillight and the license plate all sort of into one compact unit, maybe get it off to the side a little bit. These are made right now for Sportsters, FXRs, Dynas, Softails. Almost everybody's got an option except for you folks with touring bikes. Obviously an axle mount plate is not going to work for you. Installation on this thing is not terrible. You're looking at 2 out of 3 beards on our BSD, our beard scale of difficulty. You're going to need some wiring experience, you're going to need a little bit of mechanical know-how, but most of you should be able to get this done in a garage at home without too much muss or fuss. Let's dive in. First things first, this thing is made from billet aluminum. It's evident as soon as you look at this thing that this is a well-constructed piece. I'm almost afraid to touch it. The thing shows fingerprints like crazy because they polished the bejesus out of the aluminum. It looks so nice. So right off the bat, you do have that nice custom look, which is to be expected with a bracket and light at this price point. So in construction, like I said, this is all billet aluminum, really nicely made. But if you're looking at it too, there's also some thoughtful pieces about this. Firstly, you can see back here, no wiring exposed. This all lives behind the license plate, which we've got in here. We had to wire ours internally, but this thing is drilled actually for internal wiring, so it wasn't difficult. We ran it back through here, and what you can do from here is run this now up your bike, hidden. You know, you'll zip tie it away or hide this stuff in a shroud, and it'll keep the bike looking clean in the back. I think most of the people interested in these particular style of tag bracket lights have seen them on custom choppers, and now you can get that same custom look without having to do all the custom fabrication yourself. One of the other things I really like about this, and it's a little thing, but I think it's really cool, when we light this up, you'll notice here, so the intensity on this is crazy. They're stupid bright. Everyone's going to see you when you have this thing kicking. But if you look down here, you'll notice that the license plate is not lit right now. And the reason is because they wired the circuits correctly. The only time the license plate lights is when we use the taillight function of this. So you'll see now, if I get my fingers in there, you should be able to see that light off. The reason I like this is because you don't get that weird dual intensity lighting of the license plate that you get with so many more inexpensive lights. It's a little thing and it's not really a huge deal, but it does matter. It's one of those things that shows that Alloy Art really went to every length to make sure this is a premium product. They're thinking about every aspect of the installation and use of this product. The only bone I have to pick with this particular taillight, and I'll show you right now, is if you look where that license plate light actually was coming out of, this area here, this is white light, which is great. You're going to keep legal. However, this isn't sealed off at all. So water ingress may or may not be a problem. As you can see, this is downward facing, so I wouldn't expect there to be a huge bunch of water in there, but it is something to think about. You know, it's one of those things, if you're riding your chopper a lot out in, in the rain, that could be something to think about. Another thing to think about too is legality. Now I know here in Pennsylvania, we actually have vert mount license plates. You can get one that is specially made to be vertical mounted. Not every state has provisions for such a thing. Some states don't care at all. Make sure that you're keeping legal wherever you're heading to, or if you're gonna run illegal, just know what you're doing and know the possible ramifications. So earlier I talked about the install on this thing. Installation, like I said, it's 2-bearder. You need to know how to wire things, obviously. If you know how to wire your typical dual function taillight, brake light assembly, this should be cake for you. It's not gonna be too difficult, but you are going to either have to cut your factory harness or you're going to have to build yourself a harness that will interface between this and your factory piece if you don't want to cut your factory wiring. Not very difficult. Again, 3-wire setup. Most of you should be able to handle this if you have a buddy handy who's ever done one of these. The other thing you want to think about too is the mechanical aspect of this. So you are going to have to drop your axle in order to install this. So having a bike jack handy would be nice so you can get the weight off the bike. You can maybe fudge it a little bit without removing the axle entirely, but it would be easier to have the whole rear end up. So wrapping that up, most of you guys should be able to get this thing installed in your garage in a couple short hours on a weekend afternoon. After that point, you should be out rock and rolling. Everybody should be seeing your new Alloy Art Smoothie tag bracket taillight. Shouldn't be difficult for you. Now, I'll be frank with you. This is definitely not my sort of a piece. However, I am very capable of identifying a well-constructed part, and this is it. This thing is solid built. I would have absolutely no problem at all putting this on a customer bike. I think on the right type of bike, this thing would look slamming, just not any of my bikes. My opinion is not the only one that matters, though. Click below, leave us a little bit of feedback if you have one of these, or if you're looking at one of these, check out what some other riders who are already rolling them have to say about them. If you've got some questions that I haven't answered for you, get in touch with us. See us at RevZilla.com, or you can always get a Gear Geek on the phone, 877-792-9455. I'm Lemmy, I'm out of here.